Modehani lefanecha melechai v'kayam shechezarta binishmati bechemla Rabba emunatecha Moda'ani lefanayich Melechai v'kayam Shechezarta binishmati bechemla Rabba emunate Rabba emunate Rabba emunatecha. Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom. Hello. Shabbat shalom. Thank you for the mighty people who are here in person, and all of you mighty people who are maybe watching us on our live stream. Hello. Hope you're having a lovely Shabbat so far on this nice day, this cool breezed, just kidding, nothing cool outside about the temperature. Do you think by this point it would be a little better? Like, it does. No. It's so terrible.
Too much moisture out there.
It's terrible. No, it's terrible. I spoke to Sarah Freudenberger the other day, and I asked her how her temperature was in Boston, and she said it's not that cold yet. She said it was like 70, and I was like, oh, thank you. That's 70, because I looked out the window and I was like, it's like 92 and raining right now. I said, so that 70 is better. I would take 70. So a little shout out to her too, because I just spoke to her. So, all right, we began with Modeh and Moda Ani as we start our service this Shabbat morning. If you're watching on our live stream, you can join us by going onto our website to get a prayer book if you'd like. You're obviously joining us because you can see us on live stream, but if you want a prayer book, if you want a Siddur, CBIBoca.org, and top left corner has a little menu button, press menu, and from there, it says like services, I think, or prayer, and then you hit that, and then scroll a little down. You'll see a nice picture of Cantor Muchnick, and then next to it, there's a button that says live stream. There's a button that says your prayer book. So you could press that. There's also a button that says live stream, by the way. But there's a button that says prayer book or Siddur. You can press that and join us. And we're going to continue now with Psukei de Zimra, our verses of praise. That's on page 183.
Baruch Shamar v'haya ha'olam. Baruch Oseh v'reshit. Baruch Omer v'yoseh. Baruch Gozer Mekayim. Baruch Merachem al ha'aretz. Baruch Merachem al habriot. Baruch Mishalem Shachar Tov l'Reyav. Baruch Chaylad v'Kayim lanetzach. Baruch Podei Matzil. Baruch Shemo. Blessed is the one who spoke and the world came to be. Blessed is the one. Blessed is the one who continually authors creation. Blessed is the one whose word is deed. Blessed is the one who decrees and fulfills. Blessed is the one who is compassionate towards the world. Blessed is the one who is compassionate towards all creatures. Blessed is the one who rewards the reverent. Blessed is the one who exists for all time, ever enduring. Blessed is the one who redeems and saves. Blessed is God's name. Baruch atah Adonai, melech mehulal b'tishpachot.
We continue with Shochen Ad now, right in the middle of page 192.
Shochen Ad Maharom v'kadosh shemo v'chatuv raninu tzadikim baronai laisharim nevatehila בפי ישרים תתהלל, ובדברי צדיקים תתברך, ובלשון חסידים תתרומם, ובקרב קדושים תתקדש, ובמחלות רבבות עמך בית ישראל, ברינה ידבר שמך מלכנו בכל דור ודור. ישתבח שמך לעד מלכנו, האל המלך הגדול והקדוש בשמיים ובארץ. ברוך אתה אדוני, אל מלך גדול בתשבחות, אל ההודעות עדות הנפלאות, הבוחר בשירי זמרה, מלך מלכי העולמים. יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה, בעלמא דברה חירותי וימלך מלכותי, בחייכון ובימיכון ובחיי כל בית ישראל, בגלה ובזמן קריב ויאמרו אמן. יהי שמי רבה מברך לעולם ולעולמי עלמיה. יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא, ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתעלה שמי קודשו ברכו. לעילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה, תושבחתה ונחמתה, דמירן בעלמא ואמרו amen.
And we continue with the Baruch Hu 195. Together we stand. את אדוני המבורך, ברוך אדוני המבורך לעולם ועד. La 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 la. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם יוצר אור וחושך עושה שלום ובורא את הכל. It's not behaving. It's not behaving. We continue with Ahava Rabbah. You can be seated, please. We continue with Ahava Rabbah on page 198.
Ahava Rabbah ahavtanu, Adonai Eloheinu, Chem lagedola v'tera, chamalta aleinu, ba'avor avoteinu, ve'imotenu, shebatchu v'cha, Balamdem chukei V'ha'erinenu b'toratecha v'tahabek libeinu b'mitzvotecha v'yached levavenu le'ahava u'yira et shemecha v'lo nevosh v'lo nikalem v'lo nikashel le'olam va'ed v'lo nevosh v'lo nikalem v'lo nikashel le'olam va'ed ki v'shem kod shecha hagadol v'hanora b'hatachnu nagila v'netzmecha Nagila v'nismecha v'shuatecha. Baruch atah Adonai, habocher be'amo Yisrael, b'ahava.
Page 200.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Baruch Shem, Kevod Malchuto, Le'olam Va'ed.
201.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודך. והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך. ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך וקשרתם לאות על ידיך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך.
202.
ויאמר אדוני אל משה לאמור, דבר אל בני ישראל ואמרת עליהם ועשו להם ציצית על כנפי בגדיהם לדורותם ונתנו על ציצית הכנף תטיל תכלת והיה לכם לציצית וריתם אותו וזכרתם את כל מצוות אדוני ועשיתם אותם ולא תטורו אחרי לבבכם ואחרי עיניכם אשר אתם זונים אחריהם למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
Elohechem emet. We continue with our song of redemption, Mi Chamocha. That is on page 204.
This might be a tune that you don't know very well, but it's so lovely. It's such a nice time to introduce new things. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nedar b'kodesh norah tilod osefele norah tilod osefele mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nedar b'kodesh Adonai imloch leolam va'ed. Adonai imloch leolam va'ed.
We continue now with the Amidah, page 205, and together we stand.
Adonai sifatai tiftach ufi agita hilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, ve'Elohei avotenu ve'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, ve'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, ve'Elohei Leah. Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor ve'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, Ve'konei HaKol, Ve'zocher Chastei Avot Va'imahot, Umevi Geula Livnei V'neihem, Le'ma'an Shemo B'Yahava, Melech Ozer U'Moshiach U'Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham, Ve'ezrat Sarah. Atah gibor le'olam Adonai, Mechayei hakol atarav lehoshia, Morid hatal, Mechalkel chayim bechesed, Mechayei hakol berachamim rabim, Sohomech noflim verofei cholim, Umatir asurim, Umekayem emunato lishenei afar, Michamocha bal gevurot, Umido melach, Melech memid umechayeh, Umatzmiach Yeshua, V'ne'eman ata lehachayot hakol, Baruch atah Adonai, Mechayeh hakol.
Kedusha 208.
Nekadesh et shimcha ba'olam, Kashem shimakdishim o tobi shmei marom, Kakatuv al yad neviecha, V'kara zel ze ve'amar, Kadosh, 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 Adonai Tzevaot, Meloch ol haaretz, Kevodo, Adir, Adirenu, Adonai, Adonenu, Ma'adir Shimcha, B'chol haaretz, Baruch Kevod Adonai, Mimkomo, Echad hu Eloheinu, Hu Avinu, Hu Malkeinu, Hu Moshienu, Vehu Yashmienu, Berachamav Le'nei Kol Chai, Ani Adonai Elohechem, Yimloch Adonai Leolam, Elohai Yikseon, Ledor Vador, Hallelujah, Ledor Vador, Ledor Vador, Ledor Vador, Nagid God Lecha, Ledor Vador, Ledor Vador, Ledor Vador, Nagid God Lecha, Ula Netzach Netzachim, Kedushat Chanaktish, Kedushat Chanaktish, Veshivchecha Eloheinu, Mipinu lo yamush leolam vaed, Baruch atah Adonai, Ha'el HaKadosh.
We take some time now for our own silent prayers, thoughts, and meditations. beginning here on page 210 and going through page 219. When you're finished, please be seated.
Achad shalti me'ed Adonai ota vakesh. Achad shalti me'ed Adonai ota vakesh. Shivti beved Adonai kol yamei chaya lachazot benoam Adonai ulevaket bechei chalot lachazot benoam Adonai ulevaket bechei chalot.
That was really, really lovely. And officially the last time we have to actually say it for this year to prepare, because this is it. This is our last Shabbat of the year. So
5781.
next Shabbat will be the new year. Yay! We continue with Seder Kriyat HaTorah, the service for reading the Torah, which can be found on page 244.
Ein kamocha ve'Elohim Adonai ve'ein kema'asecha malchutecha malchut kol olamim umemshaltecha bechol dor vador Adonai melech Adonai malach Adonai yimloch leolam vahed Adonai oz le'amo yitain Adonai yivarech et amo v'shalom. Av harachamim heitiva vertzoncha et Zion tivnei chomot Yerushalayim tivnei chomot בחומות ירושלים. כי בך לבד בטחנו, מלך אל רם ונישא, אדון עולמים. כי מציון תצא תורה, כי מציון תצא תורה, ודבר אדוני מירושלים. ברוך שנתן תורה תורה, ברוך שנתן תורה תורה, לעמו ישראל בקדושתו. שמע ישראל, אדוני אלוהינו, אדוני אחד, אחד אלוהינו, גדול אדוננו, קדוש שמו. God willing, we'll have the ark open and we get to do that last part. We can be seated.
I was saying that hopefully soon we'll have the actual ark open and we'll can be able to walk around together. We're getting closer and closer, I feel like, to at least we're in here together in the strong and the mighty. All right, we're going to do a little study, a little Torah study. So acquire your Torah text. If you weren't able to, make sure you got one from outside, unless you have it memorized. And we are in the Torah portion of Nitzavim, which is, I will tell you, it's in chapter 29, verse 9. 29:9. Deuteronomy 29:9. 29:9 is where we are. Deuteronomy 29:9. We good? Are we in the vicinity? Are we getting there? How are we doing? 29:9. Good? Comfy? Find it? Yay. All right, let's do our blessing. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu la'asok b'divrei Torah. Okay. This continues our 37-day-long speech from Moses. It has been going on since the beginning of Deuteronomy. It's going to continue going through the whole book. But we're getting towards the end of the book. We're getting closer and closer. Next week actually is one of the bigger dramatic conclusions for our book, but we have this week and next week. Always Nitzavim and Vayelech, which is next week's Torah portion, always fall around this window of time for us. And we're going to hear Nitzavim again Yom Kippur morning. So this same Torah portion today, and then again the Torah portion Yom Kippur morning. And I think that as we read it, you'll see why it makes sense that it's for Yom Kippur morning. All right. Good. Any questions before we start? And now Linda's here, because we sat here last week and couldn't read the Torah. We just sat here in silence. We were like, we don't even know what to do with ourselves. I'm just kidding. All right, please take it away from the top. Oh, wait.
You stand this day, all of you, before the eternal your God, you tribal heads, you elders, and you officials, all the men of Israel, you children, you women, even the stranger within your camp, from wood chopper to water drawer, to enter into the covenant of the eternal your God, which the eternal your God is concluding with you this day with its sanctions, in order to establish you this day as God's people, and in order to be your God, as promised you and as sworn to your fathers Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. I make this covenant with its sanctions, not with you alone, but both with those who are standing here with us this day before the eternal our God, and with those who are not with us here this day.
Okay, so thank you very much. All right, so what do we have going on in this very, I think, rich piece of text just from 9 to 14? What do we have going on so far? Nice. Okay. Nice. So that last piece says that God isn't just speaking, right? That God isn't just speaking to the Israelites who are standing there in the sand, but that the message really is for us as well, meaning it goes for all time. It's not just a static message to those people being spoken to in the text. It's for everyone. Nice. I'm gonna follow up every statement that you make as much as I can, because some people on our live stream of the last couple of weeks have said they can't hear the question, so that's why I'm gonna sound like a broken record. That's why I'm gonna say the same thing over and over again. That's why what you say I'm gonna also say, to reiterate what you're saying, so it could be reiterated to those on the live stream. Do you see where I'm headed? Great. It made you laugh. Yes, Jay, you want to say something?
Yes, it's very inclusive. It's not just the leaders, but it's the strangers amongst you. It's from the lowly. Being a water bearer might be a very important job, so I shouldn't say lowly, but it includes everybody.
Nice. Okay, good. So it's very inclusive. The language is very inclusive. The structure is very inclusive. It does take the time, right? We say that the Torah doesn't waste words, right? So the Torah uses the ink to actually go down to the water drawer, to say that they're significant clearly because they make your community function and run, but they are talking because a tribal head is not a water drawer. They're just saying that that's just how it works. It's the same in every kind of system or sovereignty also, right? There's a king, and then there's the people who bring in the water, and they're different, right? That's just what the text is saying. But so that's great. It's all inclusive, and it goes through the whole list from, let's say, in this instance, the way the Torah structures it, from the top, if you will, to the bottom, like you said. Good, and very, very all-inclusive. What else? Yes? Oh. So you are bothered that the women are the last on the list, essentially, after all the other personnel are named and then the women? Why does that bother you? I'm just kidding. It's, yes, right. It is minimizing your status. It is, right, I often say don't put on your 2021 hat while reading this, because you're always going to get frustrated, right? This was a system in which it made sense to put the women in that spot. It doesn't make sense to do it now. I would probably put the women higher because you guys do a lot more than anyone else does. Yeah, so, right, but yes. Nice. Okay, so to summarize your thought, perhaps part of the structure of this section of the text is talking about differentiating us from other cultures that might have been in the area, not just structurally, but ritually and the way that we do certain things, which I totally agree. I think many of the steps that we've taken really through the book of Numbers and through the book of Deuteronomy for sure, have tried to differentiate us. Absolutely. Good. Yes?
I'm reading into it not only inclusiveness, but a sense of interdependence and value for each life. Because without the water drawer, the king wouldn't be alive without the water. So I think there's a community value in each human being. And maybe even mention of the stranger is that the stranger could be a potentially valuable member in our midst also.
Nice. So what you're saying is that each member each person that we see here is really how the community functions. Great, you need a leader, obviously, but you need a water drawer too, because then the leader and everyone in the middle doesn't get any water, right? So the community has to function with all the cogs of the wheel, all the cogs of the system, obviously, have to function, because otherwise the community doesn't work like it's supposed to. Nice, good. Okay, what do you think about the sentence that says, where is the sentence that I wanted to ask you? Oh, here, if you look at verse 11, it says, enter into the covenant of Adonai your God, which Adonai your God is concluding with you this day, with its sanctions. What does that mean? That this idea is being concluded. Doesn't say it's ongoing. Why would the text say that? Yeah? It's a closing of a contract. All right, nice. Oh, all right, so it's a partnership or some kind of a contractual agreement that's being concluded because God has been saying this over and over and over and over. Now also a reminder and including Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, that my contract with you is pretty much, I've mentioned it, right? I mentioned it over and over and over. You're going to behave in one way, and if you do, certain things will happen, and if you don't, then certain things will happen. And so here I am, as you are about to enter the land, I'm going over the last minute details of the contractual agreement. Okay, it's interesting, nice. It's very transactional, particularly because of the phraseology that says that it's being concluded. Okay. What's that? Yeah, well, a covenant. Yeah, all right, good. Yeah, yeah, nice. So yeah, instead of contract, you're saying that the word covenant is used, which is, for me, even stronger than a contract, because a covenant sounds like it's almost like a brit, right? You're making it's a holy covenant. Yeah, exactly. Nice. Yeah.
Right. So by saying concluding, I think it's like saying it's not open for discussion any longer.
Nice.
It's like when the parent says, "That's it. That's the end. We're not going on anymore."
Nice.
We're done.
Nice. All right. So maybe it's like at the end of a conversation, when we're having a conversation with your parent or an authority figure, and you try and push and maneuver, and at some point they say, "Okay, we're done. Not having a conversation with you anymore. Thank you very much. Finished." Yep. I've never experienced that before. Just kidding. Just kidding. Yeah, all the time. All right, good, nice. Yes, Harry. Oh, no, not you, your partner. Dr. Bob. Yeah. Oh, interesting. So, interesting. So it's an interesting point that perhaps clearly commentators have said this. Our relationship with God and the dialogue from God and the style of dialogue from God changes throughout our text. And perhaps by saying, I'm concluding with you today, means this is it. This is how you're going to hear from me for the remainder of the time that we're chatting, if you will. So yes, that's nice. Also, we know, by the way, that Moses is about to die. So perhaps the concluding words are the way you're going to hear from Moses. Meaning you might hear the words in some other way from Joshua and so on and so forth, the prophets, kings perhaps. However, this way in which I'm communicating with you right now is about to end. And however that is. Maybe it's the way that God speaks to, maybe that God's growth changes, or any variation of that. Yeah, nice. Good. Good. What else? Yes.
Maybe that God had promised the Israelite people that he would deliver them from slavery and bring them out of Egypt into a land of milk and honey, and they're about to enter that land.
Ah, nice. Okay. So also kind of going back to the contract to say, I'm in a contract with you. Here I am fulfilling that contract. I said I was going to schlep you out of Egypt, right? I told you I was going to drag you through the sand. I told you that I was going to teach you a whole bunch of stuff, thus the book of Leviticus, right? I told you I was going to get you to the spot. You messed up the whole way, right? But we made it, and I made my promise, and now you're here like I promised you, you're here. What you do from here, you're going to do from here. But I promised you up until this point, and here I am, fulfilling my obligation to you. Nice. Very nice. Okay. Any other thoughts? What does nitzavim mean? Yes, to stand. Right? So, and it says, Atem nitzavim hayom kulchem. You are standing here today. All of you. Everyone is standing here today. Yes. Yes, this is the perfect portion to read on Yom Kippur. Why is that? Nice. Yeah, good. It's a beautiful final message. It's a beautiful connection to us sort of figuratively and physically standing on Yom Kippur, fasting and standing and reflecting. Nice. Good. Now, what's the other side of this, right? So God says, I'm speaking to every single one of you, right? So I think it's beautiful. I often think of the flip, and this is how I see it. You tell me. This has happened to me before many times. Maybe it's never happened to you, but it's happened to me a lot. Particularly when I was in school, and the teacher asked a question, and I didn't know the answer, and so I did like the in praying that they wouldn't call on me. Inevitably, teachers have that smell, that sense, right? And they always called on me, even though I was like, and sometimes I even was like looking at the book, like, somehow, it's just something, I think it's called confluent teaching, I believe is what the term is, that excellent teachers just smell the fear in the water, and they just have this great way of like zeroing in on you. So if you look at the text, I often think of this because God's speaking to everyone, which means God's not missing you, meaning you're in this. You're not allowed to think to yourself, oh no, God's not speaking to me here. I'm just going to put my head down and do like the old, like, I whistle, but I can't with the mask on. ooh, hoo, 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 like, no, God is speaking to you for better or for worse. So if you're not following the directions, then it applies to you. Like, no one's allowed to say, this doesn't apply to me. Whatever, because conversations have had, you have with the priests, you have with the Levites, you have with Moses, you have with Aaron, you have with Miriam, whatever, you have the people, whatever, Abraham, Isaac, Jacob. God's speaking to certain people. In this moment, you can't escape. And part of that non-escape is that you have to abide by the commandments and by the covenant. God's talking to you, which is why I also think it's a great Torah portion for Yom Kippur. Because we are not allowed to stand there and say, this doesn't apply to me. This law, this rule, this idea, this concept, we can't do not really apply to me, so I'm just going to sit here quietly. No. And we also know from the text, we could also say that this, it applied to hundreds of years, thousands of years ago, and the Israelites, blah, 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 and not me because I'm in 2021. The text says it applies to you too. So you're not allowed to escape, even though it's 2021. So it's all inclusive, and you can't run and you can't hide, either in the good way or the bad way. Yes? Nice. Okay, so it's the law of the land. You're on the land, you obey the law. That's nice. That's beautiful. That's, by the way, that's very rabbinic of you, Harry. Nice job. Is that there's this concept, by the way, also within Jewish text that says you follow the law of the land, even though you might be a different culture, like meaning we're Jewish, but we follow the law of the land. So Dina Malchuta Dina is what the statement is. Yeah. One step further, Harry? All right, go ahead. Oh my gosh, that's beautiful. Did you write that yourself? No. All right, Bob, right, thanks. Dr. Bob, yes. You talked about Article 9 with me now, and you lost me. I'm just kidding, keep going. Yeah, and so you're saying that the sort of the detail you're saying of that also connects to this? Is that how you're connecting it? Yeah. Okay. So the way in which the detail of the text and the zeroing in also connects to us in even more of like a business sense, to say that there are articles for this that connect. You're saying, is that? Nice, okay. A contract is a contract. It doesn't matter. Nice. Yeah, it is the cornerstone for that contractual concept that you're in this, whether, like you said, whether you're rich or you're poor, whether you're the water drawer or you're the head of the tribe, it applies to you no matter what. It applies to you. Yeah. Yeah. That was really good. Nice. That's a nice connection. You brought the Article 9 in, which is great. I think it says it in here, Article 9. I'm just kidding. All right, great. So here's the last thing, because we're running a little later than I want to, obviously, all of the time, all of the time. So if you look at verse 17, just for a second, this is how we're going to end. It says, so you're still in the same spot, just it's verse 17. It says, perchance there is among you some man or woman or some clan or tribe whose heart is even now turning away from Adonai our God. Meaning you're the one who's thinking to yourself, this doesn't apply to me. Are you there on verse 17, sorry? Verse 17. Perchance there is among you some man or woman or some clan or tribe whose heart is even turning away from Adonai our God to go and worship the gods of those nations. Perchance there is among you a stock sprouting poison weed and wormwood. When such a one hears the words of these sanctions, he or she may fancy himself immune, thinking, I shall be safe because I follow my own path, meaning this doesn't apply. So why do I tell you, why do I mention this? Because of this crazy verbiage here that says so it's sort of like 17b. It's still 17, but that back half of 17 that says that perchance there is among you a stock sprouting poison weed and wormwood, that last little bit. Now, in the Hebrew, it says, so for that it says, shoresh, porei rosh, ule'ana. That's those 4 words. That's the stock sprouting poison weed and wormwood. It's such a weird section. But the Hebrew, which is one of my favorite commentaries, if you take the first letter of each of those 4 words in the Hebrew, so these are the last 4 words of verse 17. So if you want to follow along in your text, these are the last 4 words in verse 17. Yes. Shoresh porei rosh ule'ana. See that? Those are the last 4 words. If you take the first letter of each of those 4 words, shin, pei, resh, vav, right? Shin, pei, resh, vav. Great commentary. Some of them are a little mumbo-jumbo-y for me, but this one I really like. If you take those and you rearrange them slightly, shin, pei, resh, vav, and you switch it to shin, vav, pei, resh, you get the word shofar. What's that? You think that's a stretch? I don't know, it's kind of nice in that last part. And so what does that say? If you are by chance thinking that it doesn't apply to you, the shofar is here to remind you and to wake you up. The sound of the shofar to remind you it does apply to you. Shake yourself out of that false thinking, because the text is talking to you too. It is a little out there. There is a little rearrange. Believe me, this is nothing in comparison to rearranging that happens in commentary. This is mild rearranging. But it's the idea that just if you think that you're getting away with it, woo, the alarm is sounding and waking you up to say, no, we're talking to you. So, yes.
Well, I think that going into verse 18.
You're going into verse 18?
Well,
I'm just kidding. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
It seems so applicable to, unfortunately, to our political situation today. And I know you don't want to go there, but such a one may imagine a special immunity, thinking, I shall be safe, though I follow my own willful heart.
Mm-hmm.
And I just think there are so many people nowadays who hear the rules from above and they say, well, doesn't apply to me, as you've said, and I will be safe, even though I'm following my own. I just find it so resonates with
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
world we live in.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing, and this is the book we're going to read in the children's service for Yom Kippur. It's called The Hole in the Boat. Right? That's the story of the hole in the boat. That you decide that we all get on the boat together, right? And I bought this seat, and I drill a hole under my seat. And everyone starts to freak out and say, how come you're, and I said, well, I bought this seat. This is my seat. This is my seat. You can't tell me what to do with my seat. And the answer is, you're right. But if you drill a hole under your seat, then everyone goes down. So that's perhaps the Yom Kippur story and why we're linked together no matter what. We're stuck together because the text says we're stuck together. That's what the text says. Everyone, the water drawer and everybody. We're all stuck to this. So, yeah. Well,
In regard to
we can say it because we're all in here, but it is like, well, a congregation B'nai Israel will require everyone to wear a mask. So it is like, for us at least, it's like wearing a mask. We can say that because in this congregation, anyone who's on the property has to wear a mask. Yeah. Yes.
rearranging the first letters of the last four words in 17 to be shofar, and then one of the first words of 18 is hearing.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that maybe it's not such a stretch for it to be shofar, and then let's
Just made your own
hear it.
drash there. That was very good.
Thank you.
He said, if we go with the idea that those letters spell out the word shofar, interestingly enough, if you look at the next words, it says to hear in verse 18. So it might be that it does make sense to take that drash, because at the beginning of 18, it talks about hearing and listening and paying attention to the shofar. So you made your own little drash. I love that. That was fabulous. You should be a rabbi. All right, great. All right. Who's not here again? Slacker. Although, he's teaching in religious school. Did you know that? He's teaching every Sunday and Tuesday. We got him to teach in religious school. Woo, yeah. That's good. All right, friends. So heed that sound of the shofar. We are going to, speaking of hearing, we're going to be hearing the fabulous Robin chant some Torah for us. Are you chanting from the beginning? Okay. Is that mic on? Is that mic on? You pressed the button?
Now I push
Yes, there
the
you go.
button.
All right, good. All right, anyone want to do the Aliyah this morning? Aliyah, anyone? Okay. $250, I think.
Yes.
See if I remember that offhand.
Yes.
Oh, I remembered it without the book even being open. $250. What's your Hebrew name?
Leah bat Ruvain veGittel.
Ta'amol Leah bat Ruven veGittel alei Torah.
Baruch hu et Adonai Hamvorach.
Baruch Adonai Barach le'olam va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamvorach le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten ha'Torah.
Amen.
Amen. Atem nitzavim hayom kolchem lifnei Adonai Elohechem. Rashechem shivtechem. Zignachem v'shotrechem kol ish Yisrael. Tapchem nishechem v'gerecha asher bekerev machanecha mechotev etzecha ad she'et meimecha le'avracha bivrit Adonai Elohecha uvalato asher Adonai Elohecha קורת עמך היום, למען הקים אותך היום לא לעם, והיו יהיה לך לאלוהים כאשר דיבר לך וכאשר נשבע לאבותיך, לאברהם, ליצחק וליעקב.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torah emet, v'hayei olam nata b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai, noten haTorah.
Amen. Amen. Yishkoach to everybody. Well done. Yishkoach to everyone, too. Thank you for all the great insights and comments. With the Torah still in our midst, we think of those in our community who are in need of healing, of physical, emotional, or spiritual healing. If there's someone that you are thinking of and would like to share their name, please share. משבח אבותינו ואמותינו אברהם, יצחק ויעקב, שרה, רבקה, רחל ולאה, וברך את החולים, הקדוש ברוך הוא ימלא רחמים עליהם, להחלימם ונופתם ולהחזיקם, וישלח להם מהרה רפואה שלמה מן השמיים, רפואת הנפש ורפואת הגוף, השתה בגלה בזמן קריב, ונאמר אמן. May the one who blessed our ancestors, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Sarah, Rebecca, Rachel, and Leah, bless and heal those who are ill. May the Blessed Holy One be filled with compassion for their health to be restored, and their strength to be revived. May God swiftly send them a complete renewal of body and spirit, as together we say, Amen. We are going to conclude our Torah service, 256 with Etz Chaim. Are you good with that? All right, great. Okay, yeah.
כי לכך טוב נתתי לכם תורתי, אל תעזבו, עץ חיים היא למחזיקים בה, ותומכיה מאושר, דרכיה דרכי נועם, וכל נתיבותיה שלום. השיבנו אדוני אליך ונשובה, חדש ימינו, חדש ימינו
Obviously, the major announcements are that the high holidays are on Monday.
Oh, so soon?
What? 7 o'clock, Erev Rosh Hashanah, whether you are joining us here in person or on the live stream. And then please check all of your times for everything, for all the daytime services, because there are lots of hours for everything. Everything will be live streamed. Each of them will be individually live streamed. So if you want to watch the service live stream at 9, you get the 9 o'clock. If you want to live stream at 11:30, it makes sense, right? And if you, they'll all be also put up eventually. I think it takes about 20 minutes for it to go into, be saved also into our live stream. So you can also go back and watch a previous one if you watch the 9 o'clock one, or you want to watch the, they'll all be archived for a short period of time. Our children's service if you have anyone who is attending that one, that's all virtual. It's going to be live streamed also. And that's at 4:15 on first day, Rosh Hashanah. If you want to join us for Tashlich, that's at 5:15, I want to say. That's in person, and that's out here. So you can come back and join us and give some bread to the iguana if you'd like, across the street. Our amazing and fabulous security team will be stopping traffic on Yamato on a Tuesday at 5:15. So that's going to be really fun for us to cross the street intermittently and very carefully to go back and forth. So we'll be doing that. I want to make sure that you know, even though it's Rosh Hashanah first, clearly, in Yom Kippur, we have time to keep mentioning the announcements. I want to make sure that you know that, just to make sure that everyone is aware. Oh, you brought this back. Thank you. I didn't even notice you did that. That Yizkor is embedded into each of the services. So there's no separate Yizkor service, meaning there is Yizkor, but it's not. You don't come back for Yizkor at the end of the day like the regular structure, if that makes sense. The morning service includes Yizkor. So there'll be the morning service, Torah service, Haftarah, all of that stuff will be happening. And at the end of that service will be Yizkor each of the 3 times, if that makes sense. So it's not a separate, but we're getting a lot of questions about what there's no Yizkor. There's Yizkor. It's actually 3 different times that there's going to be Yizkor. So you can, if you're in the live stream, watch any of them, tune into them, or when you're here, clearly, they'll be all matched up. So I want to make sure that you know that. I want to put that out into the universe also. We had some questions. What, there's no Yizkor? There's Yizkor. Yes, and all services are, all times, yes. All times are a go. It's clearly they're going to least, the last service, Rosh Hashanah, and the last service, Yom Kippur, are the least attended, but they are a go. We hit way beyond the margin. There was at some point they were at 15 and 20. Now they're at 50 and 60 and 70, and so we are having it. So absolutely, yes, all services are a go. Good question. Thank you. Okay. And we'll talk about this too. After the holidays are over, we have 1,000 things going on too. So we'll let you know about all the exciting things that we have, and Sukkot's coming, and we have all kinds of cool stuff. So, okay. We're going to begin to conclude our service. Aleinu is on page 282, and together we stand.
Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol,
Latet
gedula liyotzeh bereshit, shelo asanu kagoye haratzot, v'lo samanu kamishpechot ha'adama, shelo sam chelkenu kahem, v'gor aleinu kechol hamonam, v'anachnu korim, ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד Ushemo, Ushemo, Ushemo Echad.
As we transition now into Kaddish Yatom, into Mourner's Kaddish, we think of those in the period of Shloshim, the immediate 30-day mourning period: Edwin Friedrich, Harriet Fertig, Philip Dratler, Honor Postilnik, Burton Stavitsky, and Wendy Pastor. And the yahrzeits that occur for us on this Shabbat this week: Abe Abrams, Walter Castle, Irving Cohen, Vera Coles, Paul Diamond, Samuel Garfunkel, Carol Ann Geffen, Wen Hammer, Lillian Herman, Mildred Kessel, Murray Michelson, Manuel Moss, J. David Nagel, Howard Pachter, Peter Pollack, Philip Schildkraut, Jack Silber, Sidney Solomon, Wilfred Stark, Herbert Tessler, Jacob Turoff, Stanley Weiner, and Myrna Yasulka. To those names, we had any name that you would like to add? Kaddish Torah Mourners Kaddish 294. Yitgadal v'ikadash shmei rabbah, be'amad ivra chirutei ve'amlich malchutei, b'chayechon v'yomeichon v'chay dechol beit Israel, ba'agala v'izman kari v'imru, Amen. Yehi shmei rabbah mevorach le'olam ulmei olmaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'a v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitale v'yitalav shmei dekudesha b'richu, Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, damiran ba'alma v'imru, Amen. Yehi Shlomo Rabba min Shamaya, b'chaim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru, Amen. Oseh shalom b'imromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru, Amen. May the one who creates harmony on high bring peace to us and to all Israel, as together we say, Amen. Please be seated. And we conclude with a beautiful song.
Yes, a very beautiful song by Alana Arian and Noah Aronson. It's called We Return. And that is what's going on this time of year, right? We return to God, we return to truth and love and all the things that we feel. We return, we return, we return, return again. We return, we return, we return, return again and again to you. We return again to you.
Let's do Kiddush and Motzi. I think we have challahs for you on the way out. So, and they're round. I hope we have them. Now that I said that, then I hope we have them for you. But they're round and they're cute. I know they're round and they're cute. I hope we have them. That's. We're on page 300. If you'd like to. Do you want to do Vishamra or you want me to do Vishamra? Do you want to do it?
Pull that one. Oh, okay. I'll do it a cappella.
All right. All right.
Vishamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asod et ha-Shabbat le'dorotam berit olam. Beini uvein b'nei Yisrael oti le'olam, oti le'olam, oti le'olam. Vishamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asod et ha-Shabbat le'dorotam berit olam. Ki sheshet yamim asa Adonai et ha-shamayim ve'et ha'aretz v'shamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat le'dorotam berit olam. Uvayom hashvi'i shavat vayinafash, shavat vayinafash, shavat vayinafash v'shamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asod et ha-Shabbat le'dorotam berit olam. Adonai, Melech haolam, Pari hagafen. Amen. It's so cute and round. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen.
Adonai oz la'amo yiten, Adonai v'rachat amo v'shalom. May God give strength unto our people. Continue to bless us with hope and strength and love and peace and lots of strength and focus as we enter these last few days of this year and move into a brand new, fresh year with new hopes and dreams and lots of health and happiness for everyone, for us, and for our entire community.